halfway through here. So it's coming right to left, and probably in the next hour or two, it's gonna be coming from the back. It likes to turn here. As long as the conditions are pretty normal, it's pretty predictable, but it still sucks. Well, this is just a quick tour of what it's like heading down to the pits, going past every berm, watching the flags. And then it's kind of cool, I'll show you behind the scenes here as we go around the outside of the berm. At the end, you're going to see all the target carriers, and we're here. The first relay from Friday, the second day of long range, and you can see that my gun just still, you know, this whole week it has struggled with vertical, and I'll get into that a little bit more, and I'm probably going to do a follow-up video after this one and kind of explain some more stuff. But my scorekeeper for the day was kind enough to mark where all of my non-10s and X's hit. And if you look here, high 9, high 9, high 9, high 9, high 9, low 9. Now, the initial indication on this will tell you that I just didn't believe the vertical was in my gun. I thought it was a condition, and as a result, I did not dial down. And you can see I shot one, and then another, and then another, and then another, and another. Now that's way too many points to lose to the same kind of vertical. I really should have dialed down no matter what, and that might have saved me a point or two. Obviously, this back-to-back high 9, low 9, I probably finally said, okay, I'm tired of this high 9. I held a little bit lower and then threw a low 9. So, you know, just not a great start. Conditions were pretty easy on this one. 194 was, you know, again, near the bottom for this particular relay. And it was really just kind of highlighting after, you know, 4 or 5 previous days of shooting that my gun was just not shooting as small as I needed it to. So let's take a look at what goes on later in the day. Well, this is what it looks like in the pits. There's the target I'm watching, and you don't actually watch the target. You're going to be watching the berm back there for an impact. It's just not practical to actually watch the target. And you can see how everybody's watching the same thing, just right in front of them on the target. And I'm going to show you my buddy pulling a target next to me here. So you'll see the target frame go up. Watch for the bullet impact. Here it comes. He's going to pull it down. He's going to change the white spotter. He's going to cover up the old hole and change the score. Now you're going to see it happen again, and for those that know what they're looking at, you'll see that he did not change the score, but right after I stopped filming, he realized the mistake, pulled it right down, and did change it correctly. Conditions got a little more challenging. You can see sighters. First sighter went out the right. I overcorrected. Second sighter went out left. And then I ping-ponged right back in. You can see it went out the right. So it went right, left, right. Conditions were heavy to let-offs, and I wasn't feeling real confident. And, you know, as bad as 9-1 on is, 8-1 on is even worse. Because, no, you know, you got another 19 shots left to go. Not a real confidence builder, but came back 10, then threw wide 9, kind of a corner 9, left 9. And you know, through this string, it felt a little better because if you look, the 9s and the 8, for that matter, are out the sides. And, you know, I can handle bad wind calls. Bad wind calls is 100% on me as opposed to load, which, you know, is still on me, but just different. At least this was controllable. And then, of course, near the end here, low 9, high 9, low 9, my vertical was back. Again, we'll talk about this a little bit more in detail, but 190, you know, had me 10 or 12 off the bottom. Not great. Just, you know, I kind of just went into Friday saying, well, I'm just going to do the best I can. I know my gun's not shooting small enough to really compete, and all I can do is just manage it. So, second relay, 190, 1X, really not a great score. But what was I going to do? That's all I had to work with. All right, we're on the last relay. Day's almost over. You know, just very typical Ben Avery conditions here. Turns, starts coming out of the back. Usually fizz tails anywhere from a 4 to 5 o'clock all the way to a 7 or 8 o'clock. It's already turned once or twice in the last 10 minutes, so we'll see how it closes out. Today, you can see the final score was the same as my previous relay. all over the place. Conditions were, again, not great, but they should have been more manageable. It's when you aren't confident in your gun and where it's shooting, you tend to overcompensate and make mistakes because you don't know where your bolt's going to go, and it is a horrible feeling to be lost in your gun. And unless you've done it, you just don't understand. But it's horrible. So you can see cider 1, wide 6. Then I came back in wide 9. Thought like great, shot an X and then a low 9. And the thing that hurts on all of these cards, all of these low shots that you see, low 9, low 9, low 9, high 9, even all the previous cards, they were all correct win calls. And it's one thing if it had been high and left or high and right or low or whatever, and a bad win call, because then I knew there's something else going on. I wasn't picking up a mirage right or the wind flags or whatever. But to lose all of these high and low points across all of these scorecards, knowing that I made good win calls, to be honest, just adds to the aggravation and frustration. So you can see this last relay just, it wasn't good. Again, same kind of position, if you will, for this relay. Second page, 10 or 12 or 15, whatever, off the bottom. And it just, just a consistently poor day of results. And, I was feeling a little better about it. Not because the score was any better, but I had sort of just relegated myself to the fact that my gun just wasn't shooting right. And like I've said before, all I could do was manage it. So we closed out the day, second day of long range. I think at the end of the second day, I was still pretty low, maybe 5, 6, 8, 10 off the bottom for the aggregate for the 2 days. And just, I deserved it.